There's something for you to chew at the end of this video. But before then, may I remind you that God is not broke. So why do you pay tithe to a man in suit when your neighbor starves? Why do you carry an envelope past a homeless mother on your way to church? Why do you sow seed on polished altar while your mother's roof leaks? Is God that broke that he's waiting for your paycheck to keep the universe moving? Is the creator of the universe so fragile that he needs your weak currency to feel secure in his throne? Is the one who said, "Let there be light," now flickering in darkness until your envelope hits the tray? Is your God a landlord now charging spiritual rent to keep you covered? Is heaven behind on bills, so they need your tithe as a bailout plan? Is the Almighty you serve a beggar wrapped in holiness, living hand to mouth of the fear of widows and fear of the poor? Or have we replaced God with a greedy middleman who wear robes and suits, quote scriptures, and build empires on your blind belief? You call it obedience, I call it blindness. That's because God, the real God, doesn't need a percentage of your paycheck. He wants the whole of your conscience. But you've been trained to give vertically and ignore everything horizontal. You sow upward, but you step over the broken on your way to the pew. Tell me, who lied to you? Who told you heaven needs a fundraiser while earth is bleeding? You tithe to build cathedrals, but never to build communities. You give to buy your pastor a car, but not to buy medicine for the sick. You finance pulpits, but ignore the single mother down the street who hasn't eaten for 2 days, some of them within your own church. And the man collecting the tithe, he tells you it's for God. But you never see God spend it. You only see your pastor spend it on new suits and feed fat and his mansions and brand new cars. And still you give because fear is louder than logic, because guilt is heavier than truth. You would say it's not about the money, but tell me, why is money the loudest voice in your church? You'd say, God will bless me for giving, but tell me, why after 10 years of faithful donation are you still broke? You say we give in faith, but hey, the poor didn't need your faith. They need your donation. They need your heart. They need your hand and your humanity. God is not hungry. He doesn't need your bread. Your neighbor does. The woman 2 doors down who feeds street children with 1 meal. The old man selling broken tools by the roadside, praying someone buys something before nightfall. That's who's starving. That's who your offering was supposed to reach. God is not naked. He's not cold at night. Your sister is. The girl you walk past in silence, whose only coat is shame, whose dignity has holes where your charity should have stitched. You cover the pulpit with gold-threaded linen, but leave her in torn clothes and silent tears. God is not homeless. He doesn't sleep under bridges. Your people do. The boy under the flyover, the mother and child living in a shack built from ropes and scraps. You build temples of marbles and sound systems worth a king's ransom, while they bath in rainwater and you call it mercy. So I'll ask you again, who are you really giving to? A God who owns the universe? Or a system that starves the one he wants you to love? Because if your worship never clothes the ashamed, never feeds the hungry, never shelters the forgotten, then it's not worship, it's theater, and heaven doesn't need another performance. So tell me, when did religion teach you to serve an invisible God while ignoring the visible pain of your community? If your tithe doesn't touch the streets, if your offering doesn't break chains, if your generosity doesn't start with the least of these, then maybe you're not giving to God at all. You're just paying rent.
Serious problem. And